How well do you know yourself, dear one? You might say, well, I know myself very well, better than any other human on the planet. Some say, well, I know myself as well as God knows me, because there truly isn't anything I don't know about myself. There are many who would say that and state that and stand there and sign a document that that's the truth, not understanding that how you think and your perception of reality changes who you are. What if there was someone underneath you that is the real you? What if you were like the onion that we've talked about, and the more you peel the outside of it that thinks are you, the more you discover there's more of you, until you get to a place to say, this is truly the core of me. And when I was on the outside of my own onion, I didn't even know it. But now that I'm on the inside, I am far more aware of the entire me. That is more accurate than anything I could give you. To peel that onion of reality so that you can get to the real you. And that you must include the spiritual you. However you would define that, you are a part and a piece of creation. But that creation that you're a part and a piece of has consciousness. It knows you. You are part of it in a way that you cannot fathom. There's no physics to tell you about this being part of. It hasn't been developed yet, but it will. Your consciousness is allied with the field. There is no yet proof of that, to the extent there will be. Your consciousness can change matter. That is also on the horizon of understanding, but it's not there yet. Even though the masters of old showed it to you, and you documented it, some still don't believe it. I want you to come across the bridge with me. There's somebody I want you to meet. Stand on this side of the bridge. Get ready to go. Take my hand. This is my favorite part. I say that because together, hand in hand, through the mist in the middle of that journey of the bridge, across to the other side. But this time, it's different. I want to paint a picture. You don't have to visualize it. You've crossed this bridge into a beautiful tropical island. Beautiful. Sun is shining. It's warm. Very soft wind. There's nothing uncomfortable about this. It's glorious. Trees swaying in that wind. And there's one entity shimmering like an angel that stands in the distance that is coming toward you. And this is the one I want you to meet. There's no theater. There are no doors. There's nothing but one solitary, glorious South Pacific island. Not too hot. This figure approaches you and shimmers and glows. It's beautiful. You feel it from afar. It actually takes your breath away. There's so much color there. There's a rainbow of white light, if you could imagine such a thing. A rainbow of white light. Of course, it's white. That's what the rainbow represents. All the colors, the white spectrum of light. And that speaks to you in a voice that's remarkably familiar and says, please, dear one, please take off your shoes. You realize you're standing there, and whatever shoes you're wearing for this trip, you remove them right away. And the figure says, come closer. And you start to come closer to this shimmering entity. You realize this is truly an angel. Huge. It is far, far larger than you. And it says, I ask you to take off your shoes, for this is sacred ground. This is the core of your soul. You might say, well, why does it look like an island? And you can say, that's the metaphor of sereneness, of peace, of beauty, of satisfaction, of relaxation. That's the core of you. For right now, that is the symbol we're using. And you look at this angel and say, are you God? And the angel says, We all are God. But more specifically, I am you. And you question that and you say, how can you be me when I am standing here as me? And the figure looks at you and smiles now, but you can see this beautiful face appearing. And the figure says, I am your higher self. What have you been told, dear ones, right now? If we could freeze this scenario, what have you been told about your higher self? And the answer is very little. What is it? Where is it? How does it work in the scenario of things? What's its name? That's a very, very three-dimensional question, but I'm quite sure it's been asked. What's it look like? Of course. What if it was always there in you, and now it has stepped apart from you in all of its divinity, and it's talking to you? Come, it says, let's spend some time together. And it takes you to perhaps a chair or a rock or even on the sand, wherever you'd like to sit, which is the most comfortable place for a one-on-one discussion with the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, that loves you and knows you better than you know yourself. And the higher self of you says to you, do you want to know my name? And you say, what is it? Yes, what is your name? And it looks at you and it says, your human name. And it's one of the only times you're going to see that in your soul, where your higher self knows you so well as a human in this lifetime, alive right now, that it takes your name right now. A metaphor perhaps, but it tells you everything. That higher self is with you all the time, knows everything you know, and when you cross that bridge and come back, it's with you then. But right now it's talking to you personally. I want to tell you some things that you didn't know about you. And you sit on that rock, or on the sand, or in a chair, or by a tree, or whatever, with your feet warmly nested into the sand. And that higher self comes close to you and takes your hand and starts to whisper in your ear and tell you the beauty of the one called you. And all of the stories that it begins to tell you about who you've been or who you are, what might be in your future or why you're on the planet, all the things you've always wanted to hear from a family member who loves you, it's all there. There's no greater love than this one that has been with you so often, even if you don't even recognize it or say hello, but it's always there. You're never alone. It's the divinity part of you, the higher part of you, the higher self. And if you've never admitted it, it's still there. It doesn't matter. It's always with you. It stands guard while you sleep, if you choose to accept that. It stands with you for help with your intuition, like your guides do. It knows your guides. They work together. And here is what it says to you that is most important. I do this today with you so you can see there is a grander reality that even you knew, any of you knew, about your higher self, the God part of you. And here's what I want to tell you. It is in you. I am going to return across the bridge with you, and you will see me and you will feel me. And so when you get out of that chair, I am with you. You may actually feel something different when you arise, if you will accept the fact that your God part is always there. It's always there. Let me come home with you, human being. Your name goes here. Let me come home, and together perhaps change your life now that you've discovered who you really are. It doesn't get much better than that. I'm crying in love with you all. Stay and listen to your higher self. Tell you all the beautiful things that you've done and who you really are, and how you've traveled the heavens together. for eons of time. And so it is.